Hello, my name is Richard Gellin. Along with Mary Ellen Coe and Daryl Unterecker, I teach a class at Medtronic called Critical Thinking and Decision Making. One of the things that we have found in teaching the class is that good decisions depend on people sharing their views openly so that even difficult things are discussed. When we are making important, often urgent decisions, we find that we have to question data, clarify assumptions, and challenge perspectives. When we are making decisions, we have to argue about what to do. As David Hume, the philosopher, said, truth springs from argument among friends. That's right. Truth springs from argument among friends. A good argument will engage us without turning us against each other. Arguing is not the same thing as fighting, after all. When we argue, we want to win over other people to our point of view. When we fight, we just want to win, period. The most important thing to learn about arguments is that they are linked to the verb tense. Let me clarify this. The type of argument we have is controlled by the verb tense that we use in the conversation. That's right, if you control the verb tense, you can control the argument. Here's how this works. There are three types of issues that we argue about. Don't take it from me. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher who lived from 384 to 322 BC, was the first person to explain the linkage of issues to the verb tense in argument. Aristotle identified three types of issues that we argue about. The first has to do with issues in the past. These arguments often take place in courts of justice, where someone has done something wrong to someone else and blame has to be assigned. Since we are talking about what happened in the past, the primary verb tense we use is the past tense of verbs. Where were you? What did you see? What happened? Why did you do that? The second type of argument has to do with values and identity. These arguments often separate groups from other groups. We are like this. They are like that. We are the red team. They are the blue team. These arguments concern issues that are alive with us today. They are taking place in the present, and so the primary verb tense that we use is the present tense of verbs. What do you stand for? Here's what I stand for. My position is this. Your position is that. The third type of argument has to do with choices. These arguments are about what we should do. Should we choose A or should we choose B? Should we eat Italian food tonight or should we eat Indian food tonight? Should we choose red or should we choose blue? These arguments are about choices in the future, and so the primary verb tense we use is the future tense of verbs. What should we do? How should we decide? We tell our students early on during the critical thinking class that paying attention is the most important of all critical thinking skills. And so to have good arguments, we have to pay attention to the language that we are using. We have to pay special attention to the verb tense in our arguments. If we find ourselves using the past tense of verbs, as in why did you do that, chances are that we are blaming someone about something, and we may have lost track of our decision. If we find ourselves using the present tense of verbs, we may find that we are defending ourselves from what we feel is a personal attack. We may feel that our value or identity is somehow being threatened. If we want to have good arguments in order to make good decisions, we should focus primarily on using the future tense of verbs. This is the verb tense of choices. Remember that good decisions depend on good arguments. Pay attention to the verb tense in your argument, and chances are you'll make better decisions. Thank you very much for your attention.